Hey guys, it's Will, Vinyl Appreciation Society. Today's an exciting day for me because, hey, check out my shirt, Stretch Armstrong. I don't know if you can read that, but here are some CDs of theirs. It's a hardcore band that they were one of my absolute favorite bands, probably from like 2000 or so until when they first broke up, which would have been like 2007, 2008. And they just announced today that they're getting back together to play Furnace Fest 2020. So Furnace Fest is this, it was like a big festival with that wave of like hardcore and metalcore bands that came out around the turn of the millennium. So it was like Every Time I Die, Avenged Sevenfold, like Unearth, As I Lay Dying, Finch, like those types of bands converge. And so they're doing a big I don't think they've had one in like a decade. And so for 2020, they're bringing it back and they're doing like this huge blowout. And I actually wrote down some of the bands that are playing because the lineup is just completely insane. Like if you go to the website, you'll see you just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It's just band after band after band. Avail, Comeback Kid, Hopes Fall, Shy Halud, Unearth, With Honor, Norma Jean, Every Time I Die, Converge. Did I say Cave In? I don't know if I said Cave In, Cave In. So it's like the who's who of that generation of bands, basically. And Stretch Armstrong became active on Instagram maybe a couple weeks ago, and there was some speculation about, are they going to play again? Like, what's going on? And lo and behold, just today, they posted a video of them rehearsing for the first time in quite a while so that they can play Furnace Fest. I was really excited about this, but I wasn't really sure. I don't have any records on vinyl. I just have the CDs. This is Revolution Transmission. This is like one of my top 3 hardcore records ever. And then this also is probably top 10 for me hardcore records. This is called Free at Last. They have a record called Engage. There's one called Rituals of Life. I have both of those, but they were my CDs are kind of all in disarray right now because I have kids, like young kids, and we've had to rearrange the apartment a lot to accommodate for all the children's stuff. So like the CDs kind of just got put in the closet, and they're oftentimes very hard for me to find. So I was able to dig those 2 out. But so I wanted to do a video kind of in honor of this, and this is like a really big thing for me because they really are like one of my all-time, probably like top 3 favorite hardcore bands, one of my favorite like heavy bands, punk hardcore bands. So I've been meaning to do a segment for a while called Ultimate Playlist, and I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to do the first series or first segment in this series. So the idea behind this is that I kind of think that 10 songs is the perfect length for a playlist and or an album. And if you look at like great 10-song albums, Illmatic is like the perfect example for me, the Nas record, but like the Blue Album by Weezer, what else? Like New Wave by Against Me was another one I was thinking about earlier today when I was thinking about this, which I know there are some people who don't really like that album because it was on a major label and all that crap, but like there's not a bad song on there, and that is like a really great, basically perfect album to me. And I think that 10 songs is like the perfect length to show off the strengths of a band and all their kind of different sounds and stuff like that, but without being too exhaustive or kind of losing people's interests who might not be like devoted to what is going on. They're more just like casual listeners. I think Keep It Like a Secret is 10 songs too, isn't it? The Built to Spill album, which is like basically a perfect record too. So my idea was, okay, so we could do this segment called Ultimate Playlist, and you challenge people to come up with 10 songs that define a band for them. So I'm going to do Stretch Armstrong, and I'll do more bands going forward. And then if you want to participate in this, it's really easy. We're on Instagram at Vinyl Appreciation Society, and you can just post an image of your playlist, tag us, we'll share it, we can talk about it, whatever you want to do. But I think this will be fun. So I have my 10 songs written down here. If you're on YouTube, click on the description, like expand the description of this video, and I will try to create a playlist somewhere that has all of these 10 songs on it in this order. So this is the playing order that I'm suggesting. If I can, I'll try to do Spotify. I know people like Spotify. Sometimes all the albums from bands like this are not on Spotify, so I'll try to find it on Spotify. If it's not, I'll just do a YouTube playlist because this is all on YouTube because I was listening earlier today on YouTube. So number 1, we have For the Record. This is like the quintessential Stretch Armstrong track. It's melodic, it's heavy, it's fast, it's a little bit punk, it's a little bit hardcore, and has like a great sing-along part in it. It's one of their handful of songs that has like an official proper video release, so it's pretty easy to find on YouTube and stuff like that. And if you know this band at all, this is probably the song that you know. Track number 2, Outside Looking In. This is the first Stretch Armstrong song I ever heard, so it has a really special place in my heart. This is on their Rituals of Life record, and it's just like a punk barn burner, like a hardcore punk, just like super fast song. It's less than 2 minutes. It's just a great track. At number 3, I have The Sound of Namesdropping. So that is on this record right here, Free at Last. So Stretch Armstrong is like more of a hardcore band than they are a metalcore band, but they do have elements of metalcore in their sound. And The Sound of Namesdropping is one of their kind of more metal songs, and it has like double bass and like chugging riffs and stuff like that. But that sound is present throughout all their records. It just kind of comes and goes. It's not like the main element of their sound, and it kind of associated them with a lot of those bands that were, because I think the Stretch Armstrong was around in like the 90s, if I'm not mistaken, like late 90s. But they definitely were, because this record, Rituals of Life, is, what am I saying? Revolution Transmission came out in 2001, and they had, I think, 2 records before that. So they were definitely around in the late 90s. So like bands like Converge and stuff who were doing that metalcore sound, Cave in the late 90s. I think Stretch Armstrong was kind of like associated with them, but also with just like the more straight up hardcore scene. And so The Sound of Namesdropping is one of those heavier, kind of more metalcore sounding songs. And then before I have When Words Escape. So this song almost like touches upon emo and screamo. That's on this record. And their guitar player, whose name is David, I believe, he sings background vocals, but would occasionally sing a lead vocal. And he has a really good like voice for melodic singing, but also has like a good kind of like screech, kind of like high pitched screech for screaming. And he would do a lot of harmonies with Chris, who is the lead vocalist. And so he starts off singing on this song, and he has more of like an emo voice. And then it goes into like a more hardcore, like straight up hardcore part. But that's a great track. Number 5, I have Black Cloud. So that's on Engage, which is one of the records of theirs I couldn't find, and Bust Out. And that's an interesting song for them because it's kind of like a straight up punk song, like with singing, not screaming. Like I don't think it really has a breakdown in it. So it's a bit of an anomaly, but it's a great track. At number 6, I have For Now. That is on the Rituals of Life record, and that kind of covers so many aspects of their sound because it has like a hardcore punk part, it has like the more metalcore like breakdowny part, and then it has like a big melodic bit to it too that's almost kind of like a chorus. I say almost because it's not like a part that repeats and repeats and repeats, but it has the feel of a chorus. At number 7, I have Worst Case Scenario, which is again on, and you can tell, this is like, I really love this record. It was hard for me not to just like list this whole record and be like, go listen to it. Worst Case Scenario is the second track off of here. That's like it's a hard, straight up hardcore song, but it does have a little bit of that metalcore sound. But the thing that I think is really interesting about that song is that it's really exceptionally well put together. And to give you an example of that, there's a bit in the chorus where the first repetition of the riff, the bass plays this ascending like bum 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 under the guitar chords. On the second repetition of the riff, the guitar plays that part. And then I think on the third repetition, they meet and both play that part. So this is just like the intricacies of the songwriting are really great and really shine through on that song. So that's Worst Case Scenario. At number 7, I have Still Believe Part 2, which is again off of this record, Guilty as Charged. Another great, just like straight ahead kind of hardcore punk song. At number 9, something a little bit different. It's called Landslide, and it's on the Free at Last record, which again I have right here. And this is more of just like a melodic kind of like punky emo song. But it's just really, really catchy and really infectious. And I love playing that song, especially in the car, like at high volume on like a great day. Like today, actually, I had that. It's a pretty good day today in Los Angeles, like weather-wise, and I had that album on in the car, and I just was blasting that song. And then finally, at number 10, I have Faces. Faces was a single, actually, off of Free at Last, and it goes through most of the kind of more melodic and punk-oriented aspects of their sound. It kind of starts off with a bit of like an emo bit, and then it's got some like fast-ahead hardcore stuff, a bit of like a pop-punk almost chorus. It's just a really great song. So there you go. So that is my ultimate playlist for Stretch Armstrong. If you're watching on YouTube or IGTV or wherever, let us know in the comments what your favorite Stretch Armstrong songs are, whether you're going to Furnace Fest or not. I can't make it. Obviously, on the other side of the country, it's in like Alabama, I think. And I have young kids, so it's an impossibility for me. But if you're going, let us know how excited you are and how awesome that's going to be. I'm already planning an episode of this Ultimate Playlist segment on Hatebreed, 311, which I know is a bit incongruous to do Stretch Armstrong Hatebreed and the 311, but we're going to do a bunch of these. I'm really excited about it. But I'm even more excited about the return of Stretch Armstrong, wearing my hoodie that I really didn't think would fit me because I got this when I was in college, just like 17 years old. But lo and behold, I was able to get it on. So my name is Will. You've been watching Vinyl Appreciation Society. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time.